Yeah, Donnie, so we start with stack 'em up. I mean, they've been spending the last 2 weeks in training camp. Gaels had an exhibition game last weekend against McGill, but it's a chance to see where they are in the elite. Because as you said in the opening, these are two elite programs, and they expect to be contending for the Yates Cup. Let's get physical. Obviously, both these teams are known for their play up front, defensive line and offensive line. And I think whoever can win those battles is going to win this game this afternoon. And the home cooking or the underdog eats. Simply put, do the Gaels keep running their home winning streak during the regular season that dates back to 2019, or does Laurier get a really big opening season road win that could go a long way in deciding if they're playing home games in the playoffs or going on the road?
Gaels last year finishing with a 7-1 record, in second place in the OU. Won their two games here at home in the OU quarter. Last year over Toronto, beating Ottawa in the OU semi before going on the road and losing the Yates Cup matchup to the Western Mustangs. Bill, Laurier also getting knocked out of the playoffs last year by Western in their OU semifinal, losing 45-9. They beat Carleton 41-14 in the OU quarter. These teams met in the final game of last year's regular season as well, so it's kind of a little bit of an oddity that you're playing two back-to-back regular season games, albeit with a break between the two seasons.
It is, but as you and I were talking about before we came on the air, Laurier really didn't have their full complement of weapons when that regular season game happened a year ago.
As we come out of the national anthem, we're going to talk now about two of the key players for both of these teams, the two starting quarterbacks, both of them returning. Taylor Elgersma, the starter now in his second full season. Bill, when we're talking about Alex Vraken, he came on partway through last year. Let's take a look at the battle between the matchup of the pivots.
Yeah, this is a really exciting time in the OUA with the quarterback position. You've got Hillock in his third year at Western, and then you have these two young men. Alex in his second year of eligibility because he sat out his first year as a redshirt freshman. As you mentioned, came in midway during the season because of the injury to James McLean. Both of them very strong arms, mobile, dynamic quarterbacks, and they've got great receivers. And I think, again, how far these two teams go this season will be decided on the right arms of those two young men.
One of the things we've seen is this partnership with the CFL with the QB internship program. Elgersma with Toronto back in the springtime, and Vraken as well with Hamilton.
He had been asked by the Ticats to mentor with them this training camp, but he decided that he'd rather spend a lot more time with his teammates because he only had that half season really to get comfortable with them. So I think that just shows his older brother Connor, who played for the Carleton Ravens basketball program and won many a national championship, and graduated after last season and is playing in Europe, had that same sort of team first mentality, and Alex is carrying that to the Gaels offense and certainly their skill positions for this season in the football program.
So it looks as though the Gaels winning the toss, deferring to the second half. Laurier are going to start with the ball to get this game going momentarily. And it looks as though the Gaels are going to be defending the south end zone. A little bit of a breeze coming out of the north right now, about 15 to 25 kilometers an hour. The officials for this afternoon are referee Kevin Baird, umpire Paul Duncan, head linesman Sam Brown, line judge Richard Book, side judge Kevin Collins, back judge Andrew Murray, and the field judge Andre Leduc.
I think that's interesting, Donnie. Both teams really, I think, get what they want. Laurier's only disappointment is not winning the toss. But I think Laurier wants to start on offense. They want to show off this great offense that they have, maybe get some momentum going in this game and put the Gaels on their heels a bit. The Gaels will be kicking into the wind, so they clearly want the wind at their back in the second quarter. Perhaps maybe we might see one of those trademark Gaels pooch kickoffs to see if they can catch the Golden Hawks off guard, being the first game of the year. Again, didn't look like the Golden Hawks played anyone during the preseason, just each other. So they really want to start hitting something that's not a Laurier Golden Hawk. And we should mention, Donnie, they come into this game relatively healthy. Gaels missing a couple of key pieces.
Yeah, Jazz Cara, Matteo Tuioti are both out for the regular season. We're going to talk about the Gaels season, the fact that they have a bye next week and the impact of this early bye. A couple other players who we were hoping that would have been playing this week are getting the extra week off before the bye next week. It's going to be Tyler Mullen, the Gaels' last year rookie kicker. And we're not going to jinx anything by talking about his record on field goals. And actually we have two strong field goal kickers here this afternoon. Dawson Hodge, also an excellent field goal kicker for the Laurier Golden Hawks, but it's going to be Mullen who's going to be booting the ball away. Looks like Tanner Nelms and Ethan Bayfield are back to return. Nelms is one of the top running backs for the Laurier Golden Hawks. And just a few more seconds to go, and we're going to be ready to kick off the OUA season for the hometown Queens Gaels and the visiting Laurier Golden Hawks. Two teams who finished the regular season last year against each other. This year are going to be kicking off the regular season against each other, both of them with big playoff hopes for this 2023 OUA season.
A season, Donnie, that will end on this field as well.
We're going to be talking about that a little bit throughout this afternoon's matchup and likely throughout the regular season here. Mullen boots it away. It comes down to Bayfield at about the 10. Up across the 20. Out across the 30. Great return. Out across the 45. And he finally gets tripped up, knocking him out of bounds, making the shoestring tackle on the play with Sterling Sunarine. Starting to take a look at that starting Laurier offense. Cooper Hamilton, Josh Rietveld, Tyler Potvin, Lambert Pomerleau, Spencer Walsh, left to right, the front five. Taylor Elgersma, the starting pivot, the running back, Quentin Scott, Tanner Nelms are their top two running backs. Sebastian Parasilides, the top fullback, and the receivers, Raiden Thorne, Ethan Jordan, top receiver in the OU last year, Jackson Stebbings, and Laomi Ojutalayo, wide side on the other receiver position. It's going to be a handoff to Scott coming near side. And coming across quickly to force the play up through the middle is linebacker Justin Pace. And he's going to limit after about maybe just a 1 yard gain on the play. The Gaels starting defense, the front four, Darian Newell, Eric Johnson, Andrew Mullins, Grant Van Wishart. The linebackers, Olivier Muembi, transfer from Delaware State, Justin Pace and Sterling Sunarine. The secondary, Stefan East, Aston Miller Melanson, Eric Colonna, Dawson Matthews-Reed, and Jared Seaway. 2nd and 9. Elgersma back to pass. Looking over the middle. He's got it complete for first down yardage downfield to Raiden Thorne.
Good pattern by Thorne there. Knew where he had to get beyond the stick. Offensive line gave Elgersma time. And as you watch here, when he's got time, he delivers that ball. He's tall, strong quarterback, and put it right on the money to his number 18 receiver.
A quick hitch going out far side, tackled right away. It's Miller Melanson coming up to make the tackle. The receiver on the play, Ethan Jordan. So his first reception last year, as we said, he was the leading receiver in the OU, catching 52 passes, 643 yards, 5 TDs on the season. So 2nd and 8 from just outside the Gaels' 45-yard line. A little bit of a tough snap for Elgersma, looking far side. He's got it complete again to Jordan, again for first down.
Another great pass by the quarterback, as you said. Not the best snap, and you'll see here he bobbles it, but watch how he just drops this in between the coverage over the first defender and before the second defender can get there. Great touch by Elgersma.
Talking to Laurier head coach Michael Fodge during the week, he said Elgersma has that arm strength to make all of those throws. We certainly saw it on that pass play there. It's a delay handoff. Going to Scott again, wrapped up after a short gain. Pace in there leading on the tackle along with Wishart.
Scott and Nelms, a thunder lightning sort of combination at the running back spot for the Golden Hawks. And we'll see lots of both of them this afternoon. And the Gaels, so far at least, on 2 carries by Scott, have been there to get the running back right away.
Saw a lot of this last year with that sort of flipping between 4-3 and 3-4 fronts. The Gaels going with the 3-4 here on 2nd down, 2nd and 8. Play action fake. Elgersma looking deep in the end zone, and it's going to be just overthrown on the play to Raiden Thorne. A little bit of pressure applied by Pacelat that time on the blitz, forcing Elgersma to get rid of the ball quickly.
And he just couldn't step into it to get that touch. He had, as you said, Thorne was open deep, but Gaels got enough pressure. We'll see it. He had a Gaels player right at his feet. Couldn't really step into it. Still shows that tremendous arm strength to overthrow his receiver, but it was there. They'll go back to that, I'm sure, later in the game.
Dawson Hodge to kick this ball from what would be a 37-yard field goal. He was good on 15 of 18 last year, along from 49. The ball is up, and it is through. That would have been good from about 59 on that one there. So with 11:30 to go here in the first quarter, Laurier breaks on top 3-0. Bill, we're talking earlier about the fact that we're getting the OUA season kicked off here at Richardson Stadium this year. We're going to be finishing the USports season with the Vanier Cup. Is going to be held at Richardson Stadium on November 25th. And obviously, we're hoping that you can see there, GoGaelsGo.com tickets to the game. We're hoping to have an interview with Linda Melnick, Executive Director of Queens Athletics and Recreation, to talk about that, as well as the completion of the Lang Pavilion at halftime. Gaels choosing to scrimmage from their 35. It's going to be a handoff direct to Jared Kasari. Picks up about 6 or 7 yards on first down. Taking a look at the Gaels starting offense, Brady Henniger, Evan Florin, Ryan Berta, Dawson Waldner, and Theo Grant. The front 5, Alex Vraken, the quarterback. Jared Kasari with the first down handoff there. And then in the receivers, Josh McLeod, Nathan Falcone, Aiden O'Neill, and Nico Cuomo. The starting receivers for the Gaels, Nicholas Henning, Liam Silverson, and the big job that they do as H-back as well. Gaels here with 2nd and about 4. Vraken looking quickly to Silverson. He's got him complete, but it looks as though he's going to be a little bit shy of first down yardage there.
Gaels are upset. They felt like they got forward progress, but I don't know. He was coming back to the ball. It is close. Looking at that replay, I don't know if he bobbled it. That maybe that's why, but the Gaels will be forced to punt.
And I agree, it must have been a bobble of some sort because I think initially contact was made almost at the 45-yard line, which would have been good for first down.
Well, I think the ball still would have been short, but they could have they would have been third and less than a yard. And I think that was the complaint from Steve.
Aiden Callan on to punt, averaged 33.7 yards last season on 49 punts. He's kicking into a breeze, though, here on his first punt of the 2023 season. Bayfield back to return just inside his own 30. Gets up to about the 35. Knocked out of bounds there by Pace and Miller Melanson as Laurier will get their second possession going of this afternoon's action.
I'll tell you, that's a great job by Miller Melanson because he was being held. We may see it here on this replay. His shirt is being held the whole time, but he kept his spot. There you see, he's being held by that Laurier player, but still made the tackle. So early on, they're letting them play.
A nice 37-yard punt that time by Callan going into a fairly stiff breeze here this afternoon at Richardson.
Important thing into the wind is getting that hang time.
Play action fake. Elgersma forced to get rid of it quickly and intended on the play that time for Jace Atkinson. Coming up to make the hit, knock the ball away, was Jared Seaway.
Well,
Bill, again, some pressure.
Well, Pace came on a delayed, almost, I want to call it a stunt, but it might have been a blitz. But he confused the Laurier line because he came through untouched. And again, Elgersma had to get rid of it a little sooner than he wanted.
Gaels rush 5. Elgersma has time initially. Now he's got to get rid of it quickly near side to Spate. Spate breaks a tackle, gets first down yardage out across the 45. Coming up to make the initial hit, but unable to wrap him up was Brady Spafford.
That's a great play all around by both teams. Gaels come through with the pressure. They try to go low on Elgersma, but he's big and strong. You've got to get him wrapped up, and he was able to throw off his back foot, and then the missed tackle allowed the receiver to pick up the first down.
Elgersma is 6'4", 195 pounds.
That's a big completion for that Laurier offense.
Elgersma straight back to pass, steps up. He's got it complete over the middle, and again to Jordan, and again a missed tackle by the Gaels in the secondary, and again results in a first down, or close to.
And if you're going to force Elgersma to throw underneath, you've got to make those tackles. And the Gaels haven't on the last two plays, and as a result, Laurier's starting to get some momentum again on this second drive of theirs.
Second and very short. Sebastian Parasilides, the fullback, coming in along with Scott in the backfield.
And you know what I like here, Donnie? Go deep. You're going to go for it on third down anyways.
It's going to be a counter handoff to Scott, and he gets close to the 50. It's going to be, I think he might just have it, as he had to get inside the 51 to get first down yardage.
I think he got it too, but good job by the Gaels to make that as tough as possible.
So midway through the first quarter here, Laurier got a field goal on the first drive. They picked up a couple first downs here on the second one. Nelms now in the backfield behind Elgersma. Looking quick near side, hit right away on the play. Catching it though is Raiden Thorne with the tackle for the Gaels, Stefan East. It's going to be about close to a 5-yard gain, 4-yard gain, make it 2nd and 6.
Good job by Thorne to hang on to that pass because East read that all the way. And textbook tackle to limit the gain, but it's still a gain of 5. Manageable for Laurier on second down.
Laurier so far Elgersma connecting a lot with two of his top with his two top returning receivers from last year, Jordan and Thorne. And again to Jordan over the middle, down inside the 30, underneath the zone there that time, picks up another first down.
Just a great read by Elgersma. The coverage rolled towards Thorne, and that allowed Jordan to be wide open. He just curled into the open spot, made the catch, moved the sticks.
Elgersma maybe changing the play at the line of scrimmage. Jacobs in motion far side. Nelms with the handoff, and actually it's fumbled. Elgersma now rolling far side. Wide open, intended on the play was Jace Atkinson. A little bit of a mishandling there with the connection with his running back.
I can only think that Elgersma at the last second decided to keep that, and then in picking up the ball, he had a lot more time than I think he anticipated, and he just missed his receiver. Through all of that, off the mistake in the handling of the football, he still had a chance to get a big gain there.
Scott now back in at running back on 2nd and 10. Gaels rush 4. Elgersma on a screenplay gets it complete to Scott, and he's going to get wrapped up shy of first down yardage. Gets down to about the 27. Coming off the backside with the blitz that time for the Gaels was Dawson Matthews-Reed, but it's going to force Laurier to have Hodge come on to attempt the second field goal here of the first quarter.
Good patience by Elgersma, as you'll see. Waits, sees the Gael player coming and just waits for Scott to get out from the mess of people, and the Gaels with good coverage to force the field goal.
Hodge this time is wide to the left, so it's just going to be a single point as it sailed through the end zone. Laurier now 4:53 left to go here in the first quarter, make the score 4-0. The other thing with this ball possession offense here, Bill, in this first quarter really takes the Gaels' advantage. One of the things we talked about is the home field here today. Kids and Community Heroes Day on the opener for the OU season.
I want to get back to that field goal, Donnie, because it looked like a bit of a low snap, and I don't know if Hodges would use that as an excuse, but it did look like it messed up his timing a bit, and he just hit the ball wide left. And as you mentioned, we'll watch it here again. Bit of a low snap, and just didn't hit it, and a missed opportunity for Laurier.
Kasari with the handoff on first down. He grinds out about a 4-yard gain there on the first down carry. Taking a look at that starting Laurier defense, the front four, Omari Hastings, Chinasem, Insetum, and Brandon Omanua at the defensive tackles. Luke Brubaker, he's one of the key players for that Laurier defense at the right defensive end. The linebackers, Ife Onyamenum, Ethan Grigorchik, a rookie, and Duncan Naughty, the secondary. Malik Kota Azor, Johari Hastings, transfer from Simon Fraser University, Nico McCarthy, Chris Haggart, and Ayo Ajayi. He was out last year with an ACL injury. He's now back this year for the Laurier Golden Hawks. On second down, Kasari grinds out another about 4 or 5 yard gain, but it looks as though the Gaels might be a couple yards short again for first down.
Ran into his own man who was being held up by the Laurier defender. So good job by the Laurier defender there. It was number 5 that looked like he slowed down that play enough and forces the Gaels to punt again. So far in this first quarter, Laurier's defense doing the job.
Gaels yet to pick up a first down. Golden Hawks have 5 here so far in the first quarter. Callan on to punt the ball away again to Bayfield. And a little bit of a wobbly punt. Going to bounce down about the 35 and flag on the field, as I think the official on the play may have felt that Justin Pace might have been inside the restraining zone there.
Well, I don't know if it's that or Melanson getting held again. We'll see. You might be right on the no yards. I was more paying attention to the coverage. Good call, Donnie. Be the 5-yard variety. So good field position for Laurier.
Again, the 5-yard variety if the ball bounces, the 15 if it's caught in the air. And Elgersma on for his 3rd drive here this afternoon. 8 of 11 for 73 yards so far. 4 receptions to Ethan Jordan for 40 yards. Raiden Thorne, 2 catches for 16. Scott in the backfield here. So far he's carried the ball 3 times, but just for 4 yards. Elgersma quickly over the middle, completes it on a nice seam route that time to Jace Atkinson.
And again, Elgersma takes a hit as he throws the football, but he's standing in there and he's making good connections with his receivers. That time, great pattern run by Atkinson, and had to go a little high for it, but Elgersma showing that talent that we saw last season.
Three receivers near side this time. Thorne, the lone man on the far side of the formation. It's going to be a handoff this time to Scott up the middle. Picks up about 3 or 4 yards on first down.
Now, they're not getting a lot of yards running the ball here early, but if nothing else, it's giving Elgersma sort of a play to gather himself, because as we said earlier, he's taking some shots when he's back there to throw.
2nd and 7. Matthews Reed checking in for the Gaels. Checking out is Muwembi.
Bit of a late substitution there by the Gaels.
Again, Muwembi transferring from Delaware State this year for the Gaels. Play action fake, hitch pass far side, complete on the play. Running downfield with a first down is Thorne, and doing a nice job to elude the initial tackler there to pick up the first down yardage.
Great play by Ethan Jordan, number 4. He won't get a lot of credit, but he will when they look at the film. Watch him here on the block on the defender. Doesn't push him in the back, just does enough to keep him from getting to Jordan, or from Thorne, and a first down.
Nelms now in behind Elgersma. Laurier scrimmaging from the Gaels' 35-yard line. High snap, handoff to Nelms. He gets tackled right away. Coming up to make the hit for the Gaels is Brady Spafford. Make it about a 1-yard gain for Nelms.
Gaels are doing a great job against the run here in this first quarter.
Uwembi and Stephen Capay coming in on 2nd down.
And the Gaels going a little smaller up front and quicker to maybe try and get to the quarterback.
2nd and 9. Clock now under a minute to go here in the first period. Quick pass complete, far side to Thorne, down to about the 26-yard line. Looks as though he's going to be about a half yard short.
He slipped as he was coming back to do the pattern, did Thorne, and that kept him from getting the first down. But it looks like they're going to go for it on 3rd and 1, and with the momentum on their side, and really only a play or two left with the wind at their back, why not?
Full house backfield. Brooks and Parasolides checking in now for Laurier. Elgersma coming up under center. Tyler Potvin for this 3rd and short play. Will be the final play of the first quarter, barring a penalty. Elgersma takes it, goes off the right side of the formation, picks up the first down inside the Gaels 25. That's the end of the first quarter. We'll take a short break and be back momentarily with the second 15 minutes.
Where exceptional student athletes are born, where records are broken, where great plays are made, where school colors ignite passion, where champions prevail, where tradition is celebrated, Ontario University Athletics.
Welcome back to Richardson Stadium. You're watching Gaels football on OUA TV. Don Lewis along with Bill Miklas. And Bill, 4-0 for Laurier after that first quarter. They really got to see what they wanted to see out of their offense, and they're starting pivot Taylor Elgersma.
Yeah, Laurier offense looking really strong in that first quarter. Gaels defense didn't play that poorly. The offense of Laurier was just that crisp. The only disappointment on the visitors' sideline would be the fact they only got 4 points out of those first 2 drives, but they're in position right now to maybe add to that 4-0 lead.
And we see on the field right now as we're getting ready for the second quarter to start, again, part of Kids and Community Heroes Day, along with the cheer team. Some youngsters from the Kingston community out there to help them out as well. That first 15 minutes, Elgersma good on 11 of 14 passes for 107 yards. Jordan and Thorne each with 40 yards and receptions in that first period. It's going to be play action fake to Scott, flips it out far side. He has it complete downfield to Stubbings, and Stubbings gets down to about the 16-yard line before he's going to be wrapped up by Kelowna coming up from his safety positions. Good gain on first down. They'll make it about 2nd and 3, 2nd and 4.
Again, another great play execution-wise on both sides of the field. Blocking was excellent by the receivers that didn't catch the ball. They allowed their receiver to gain some yardage, and Kelowna came right up with a good read and react to make the tackle.
It'll be 2nd and 3. Nelms in behind Elgersma. From the Gale 15, again, Laurier up 4-0. Gales yet to get a first down here in the opening game of the 2023 season. Handoff to Nelms. He gets met at the line of scrimmage. He's able to drive forward, though, and he picks up close to a first down, if not getting the first down. Wishart in on the tackle for the Gales.
Good job by Nelms. Got all of that pretty much. Got the first down after contact. Here it is again. Here comes Wishart, and Nelms just kept moving and was able to gain the first down and move the sticks.
Just outside the Gales' 11-yard line. A flag at the line of scrimmage. I think it might have been motion on Laurier as the clock had not yet wound down to zeros.
It would have to be offside on a receiver for them to stop the play. And that's what it is. One of the receivers just left a little too early. The way they were setting that play up, Donnie, I was going to say that there was something going to the right side because all the movement was coming left side to try and get the Gales tilting that way.
And then following that thought, they had Parasolides. Laurier using him, not unlike how the Gales will use Henning or Silverson from that H-back position, was on the right side as well to block. Handoff to Scott, met in the backfield, wrapped up by Pace after a very short game before his helmet comes up quickly across the line of scrimmage for the Gales that time, Eric Johnson.
Well, Scott did a good job to not lose a lot more on that because the Gales read it perfectly. Scott, I believe, will have to go off for a play unless, the rules must be different in USports. Canadian amateur football, you have to go off for 3 plays, but Scott does not. He was looking for a face mask penalty. No flag.
2nd and 15. Good snap to Elgersma. Drops back, looking over the middle, zips it. He intended for Thorne, and then coming across was Kelowna. Ball fell incomplete either way. And Laurier are going to be forced to kick their 3rd field goal here this afternoon.
Well, that time, that might be one of the first passes where Elgersma just telegraphed where he was going. He locked down on his favorite receiver so far today, Thorne, and Gales, as you said, almost got an interception out of it.
Hodge has been good on 1 of 2 field goals so far this afternoon. This is going to be from the 26. The ball is wide to the right, and Kelowna has a chance to return it out of the end zone, and he's got a lane coming near side, out across the 10, up near the 10, before he gets wrapped up by the long snapper for Laurier, Matthew Brandon.
Another missed field goal by Hodge, but Donnie, that wind, did you see how the ball got held up? I mean, that wasn't that long a field goal, and Hodge has a strong leg, and it barely got to the return man, and then he was able to get it out of the end zone and get the Gaels up to the 20.
Again, when the ball is returned out of the end zone, if you don't get out to the 20, the ball is advanced there, at least to that point, and the Gaels now getting their offense on the field with the wind at the back for the first time this afternoon, though yet to pick up a first down. That first quarter, Vreeken was good on his only completion to Liam Silverson for a couple of yards. Kasari, 3 carries for 15. He completes it out to O'Neill, gets it out near the 30. Aiden O'Neill getting his first reception of the season for the Gaels, make it second and about a foot here to go for Queens.
Just good, quick drop back by Alex. Get his confidence going. Gaels again with a late substitution.
Henning in for Camille on second and short. Vreeken takes it right up over his center. Ryan Berta picks up the Gaels' first down of this afternoon's action. Should also mention Jaden Kerr in the backfield on this play, on this series right now. Kasari had gone the first quarter for Queens.
Again, both these quarterbacks, Vreeken and Elgersma, tall, so third and less than a yard shouldn't be a problem for either of them to get.
Vreeken 6'4", 205 pounds. Going to be a handoff to Kerr off the left side of the formation, gets out near the 30, give him about 3 yards, make it 2nd and 7.
Good job of patience by the Gaels running back to just follow his blockers, get as much as he could out of that. Still going to be 2nd and long.
Ethan Grigorchik on the tackle that time for Laurier. Quamo in motion to the line of scrimmage. Vreeken looking near side, and he telegraphed that and almost intercepted. He was looking for Falcone, and thinking he had made the interception was Chris Haggard. That ball a little bit underthrown by the Gaels quarterback.
I don't know if it was underthrown, Donnie, or if Brubaker got a finger to this. Let's watch it on the replay. He comes through, yes, he tipped that ball, and boy, that looked like a pick. If we could see that again, that might have been an interception. Let's watch it closely. Really hard to see if he got it clean off the turf.
Callan 2 punts for a 34-yard average into the wind in the first quarter. Low snap on the play, but gets a nice spiraling punt downfield. Bayfield coming near side. He's going to be tackled after about a 2-yard gain. Quickly downfield on the tackle that time. Gaels long snapper James Gillingham.
And this is how your special teams can help when your defense is sort of keeping you in the game and your offense is slow to get going. You got the wind at your back, you get a good punt, you limit the return, and now hopefully the defense holds them and you start to swing that field position.
45-yarder that time for Callan. Fake handoff to Scott. Elgersma rolling far side, and the pass is intercepted by Eric Colonna. Intended on the play to Ojutalayo, but it's Colonna that comes away with the first turnover here this afternoon.
He was just in the receiver's hip, waiting, baiting Elgersma to make that throw, and when he did, he made a break on the football. Watch it here. It's a good play fake, utilizing the mobility of their quarterback, but again, maybe stared down his receiver, and there's the break the Gaels needed. See if they can take advantage.
First time in Laurier's half the field this afternoon from the Golden Hawk 46-yard line. Kerr continues at running back here in the second quarter for Queens. Vreeken looking over the field, intended for Falcone. He was hit before the ball arrived. Johari Hastings The transfer from Simon Fraser with the hit that time. Steve Snyder motioning to the referee, asking why there wasn't a flag on that play.
I think he's got a point, but I wondered, this pass looked like it was high over Falcone, and so I think they gave Hastings the benefit of the doubt, because even Hastings was looking around thinking he was there a little early.
2nd and 10. Vraken back to pass, looking far side, flips it out in the flat to Henning. And Henning's first catch as a Gael does such a tremendous job blocking at that H-back position, wide open on that play for the Gaels as they pick up a first down to the Laurier 30.
Well, and again, as a defense, you're worried about the receivers deep. The Gaels only really go underneath to a running back, and there's Henning coming out and no one there.
Going to be a handoff. Kerr going far side, has a lane around the far side, picks up a first down inside the 20, inside the 15. And his best carry here this afternoon so far.
And again, Donnie, he stays right behind the lineman, almost hides himself behind there and just follows his blocking and then makes a great cut. And we'll watch it here. Just watch, he's got it, well, it's the tail end of it. He's already, but he puts his hand almost on the hip of his pulling guard and just follows the lead block. And the Gaels have something cooking.
From the 12, Evan Florin doing a great job blocking on that play. This time it's Kerr near side, makes a move to elude a tackle, but it's going to be wrapped up after about a 2-yard gain. Coming across quickly into the Gaels' backfield was Odiasi.
Well, Gaels tried, they'd run Kerr to the left side on both his carries, so they tried to catch Laurier maybe leaning that way, but good reaction by the men up front for the purple-clad Golden Hawks.
Kasari in the backfield now for the Gaels. 2nd and 8 from the 10. Vraken looking far side in the end zone for Falcone. Touchdown, Gaels!
That's great concentration by Falcone. And he's still down. May have got banged up with the landing, but he had to go up high. Vreeken put a lot on that, a lot of height, and it was a little behind, and you wondered if the DB was going to be able to close the gap. But Falcone did a great job to hang on to that, because he's got to complete that catch after the landing. And watch it here. He's open, has to wait, reach back, and then just a great job to ensure the catch. And they're looking at him right now, but what a fabulous play by the Gaels. Take advantage of the interception, and all of a sudden you're Laurier, and it seems like you've controlled a majority of this first half, but you've missed 2 field goals, made 1, didn't get a single off one of the 2 misses, now an interception and a touchdown, and you're losing.
And a wonderful catch there, Bill, as you said, by Falcone, doing the great job to hold onto the ball as he goes to the ground to complete the catch. You know, a little bit of irony, Bill. Last year we talk about Gaels finish with Laurier, they start with Laurier. Falcone was actually the Gaels' top receiver in that game, not Burton last year in that victory down in Waterloo.
We really saw him come on as the season progressed, and I think he became a favorite target of Alex's because defenses were taking away the other targets. And on that one, and we really saw it on the replay, the wind almost pushed that ball away from Falcone and really forced him to go up high. And again, as we said, the key to that catch, he not only had to catch it up in the air, but he had to hang on to it with the hard landing to the turf.
Tyler Mullen booting the ball through for the extra point on the play. Bill, something else here. Let's take a look at the line. I don't think Falcone was necessarily the first read.
Well, it looked like
Maybe,
he looked
yeah.
initially over the middle, but then, so that might explain why it was a little late, but it's just a great catch by Nathan, and Gaels now have a 3-point lead, and the offense has some momentum.
Falcone, 2 touchdowns last year for Queens, his first already of this 2023 season here in the opener for the Gaels. Gaels up now 7-4, 7:07 left to go here in the first half. Again, Bayfield and Nelms back to return this kick from Mullen. It's going to come down to Bayfield at the goal line. And he's going to go far side, and he's going to be wrapped up inside the 15-yard line, quickly downfield with the special teams tackle, Sterling Soonarine.
Raheem Balogun Jr. Want to talk about him. On the opening kickoff of the game, he went a little too far and lost contain, and that allowed for the big return by Laurier. On that one, better contain, missed again, but I think we're going to be seeing all year that young man make some plays on kickoff coverage.
You've got players like Balogun Jr. and Josh McBain on the near side. Great containment on that Gale special team unit. Laurier from the 15. It's going to be handoff to Scott, gets met in the backfield, bounces it outside, gets hit again. Looks as though it might be a flag for a face mask. Mwimbi eventually knocking him out of bounds.
I think you're exactly right. I think Newell got him by the face mask. And so this will be a first down for Laurier, a break. But Gaels have really shown that they're on to the Laurier running game.
So far this afternoon, Laurier have carried the ball 8 times for just 13 yards.
It actually wasn't Newell. It was Sutherland with the face mask.
Nelms in the backfield now behind Elgersma. Fake to Nelms. It's got it thrown intended on the play that time for Atkinson. Knocked down. We were just mentioning the special teams play of Josh McBain. He knocks that ball down, make it 2nd and 10.
And again, if I'm Laurier, there's a worrying sign right now. The Gaels are really locking into Elgersma's eyes and playing off that. McBain almost made a fabulous one-handed catch, but he was playing that slant across by the receiver the whole way.
Gaels with the 3-4 look now on this 2nd down play here. Pace coming in on the blitz. Elgersma looking far side. Now he has to step up with it and run for it. Gets some initial yardage, gets up to the 35, but he's going to be shy of the first down. Nice job that time by the Gales secondary, forcing him to run.
And he comes up limping. I wondered when he went down if his leg maybe get twisted underneath him. But here, Gales with good coverage downfield. He wanted to go deep towards the Laurier sideline. There you saw his leg got caught underneath on the tackle, and he gets up limping.
Hodge, a good punter, averaging 44 yards on punts last year. First one he's kicking this afternoon. O'Neill is back to return for the Gales, and as I say that, it's a wobbly punt off the side of his foot, and it's going to bounce out of bounds at the 55-yard line. So broadcaster's jinx, good for just a 16-yard punt.
And the problem, I think, for him on that punt is when you're kicking into the wind, you want to try and get it low. You don't want that wind to catch it and push it back, and so he's trying to hit it precisely, and I think he just shanked it off his foot.
So you're saying
I don't think. I know he shanked it off his foot because it went out of bounds.
So Alex Vraken gets things going right from midfield. Kasari in the backfield behind him. Gales got that major to Falcone on the previous possession. It's going to be a fake handoff to Kasari, and then a throw out near side to Cuomo, and again, extremely tight coverage, no flag on the play.
Wow. That one, I thought, that's a little different because I thought Cuomo had a chance for it if he's not hit early by Ajay. And yeah, he's early there, but they let it go so far.
Falcone shaken up on that touchdown reception, is back in now on this 2nd and 10 play. Laurier come with 5. Vraken steps back and he completes it to O'Neill down to about the 46-yard line. Will be about a half yard short.
What a play, though, Donnie, by Kasari. Look at him pick up the blitz there. Number 20, Noddy, was coming in on a delayed blitz, and he upended him, and that allowed Vreeken to find O'Neill, and now they'll go for it on 3rd down.
Bring in Henning on 3rd down. Vreeken up under center, takes it right across the 45-yard line. Kasari gives him a bump behind, and that makes it 1st down for the Gales. Right now, McLeod, O'Neill, Matt Camille, and then Cuomo near side the receivers for Queens. Down to the Laurier 43, 42-yard line. It's going to be a handoff on the counter to Kasari, and he drives forward, gets inside the 40, down to about the 39.
Nice delayed draw trap play there by the Gaels to try and catch Laurier.
Make it about a 4-yard gain, handing out Falcone in on second down. Quickly, he's got to complete to Falcone. Nice reception, makes a couple moves, gets inside the 35, inside the 30, and then fumbles the ball out of bounds at about the 27. But Bill, great job. We saw the acrobatic catch, and now you see this possession receiver and his toughness.
Yeah, it made a really nice adjustment, almost simultaneous with as he's landing. He spins away, and then I thought maybe he got a little greedy going backwards. That allows Naughty, who blitzed. Great hustle by that player for Laurier to come all the way in and try and strip the ball, but fortunately for the Gaels, it went out of bounds.
So the ball is going to be spotted after the fumble at the 29.
But now we're seeing Laurier taking some chances defensively with those blitzes that should leave some pockets open if Alex can find them.
Kasari motions to Vreeken's left. He takes the handoff right up the middle, has a hole into the secondary. First down yardage inside the 20, down about the 18-yard line.
Laurier thought they had the ball, but I think they're going to say Kasari was down.
That's the 3-minute warning, and with the 3-minute warning, Bill, we're now going to talk about the 3 USports National Championships that are going to be held this year by the Gaels.
Busy times here, Donnie, at Richardson Stadium. You've got the Women's Soccer Championships, which will be happening November 9th to the 12th here at Richardson Stadium. Then, of course, the big one, November 25th, the Vanier Cup between the 2 remaining teams in the country for the USports Football Championship. And then in March, it will be the USports Men's Volleyball Championships, which was at Queens a few years ago, March 14th to the 17th. But of course, here at Richardson, 2 championships. The biggie, the football on November 25th, leads us into, don't forget to get your tickets. It'll be your best chance this year and next year to get a chance up close and live to watch the 2 best teams in the country play for one of the most prestigious football trophies around, the Vanier Cup. Gaels last won it in 2009. They're hoping to be one of the 9th team ever to host and play in the Vanier Cup. Laval Rouge will be looking to defend their title. And all of that right here in Kingston.
We're looking forward to being joined by Linda Melnick, Gaels Executive Director of Athletics and Recreation, at the halftime for an interview regarding the Vanier Cup. Also, just before that 3-minute warning, Chris Haggart, injured Laurier player, going off under his own steam with the trainers. Vreeken looking over the middle, and it gets knocked away on the play intended for Josh McLeod. Nice job done that time by the Laurier defender, Jahari Hastings.
I think he wanted to try and go into the end zone, but Laurier took the deep stuff away. Let's watch it here on the replay again. Great protection. He's got time. Looked underneath. And again, good coverage by the Golden Hawks Hastings.
So 2nd and 10. Kerr in the backfield. Vreeken looking quickly. He's got it complete inside the 10 to Matt Camille. And he's going to be maybe about a yard. It'll be 3rd and short here for the Gaels.
Again, Naughty comes on the blitz. Reed does a great job in picking it up. As you watch it here, it makes the block, and what that does is opens up that side, and Laurier a little late to get to the receiver.
Henning in on third and short. Fraken going up under center again. And the Gaels move. It was the left guard, Evan Florin, with the motion, and that's going to make it 3rd and 6.
And force the Gaels to kick a field goal. Real good chance there for Queens to keep the pressure on Laurier, and Laurier gets a break with the movement by Henniger. But it's hard. It looked like Alex took a second longer to finish up the cadence, and Henniger just jumped.
So James Gillingham, the long snapper, Russ Weir, the holder.
A quarterback, Russ Weir.
And Tyler Mullen on to attempt what would be about a 22-yard field goal. And there was I'm not sure if the Gaels took too much time here because it was whistled just before the ball was snapped, or as the ball was snapped.
Well, it looks like they're pointing at Laurier, or are they pointing at the clock? Because I agree with you. The clock showed 0 when they blew the whistle.
Now, the kick was good.
But if it's a time clock, then play should
The play didn't happen, yeah.
And that's what it is.
So back-to-back penalties against the Gaels here, and it's going to make it a 27-yard kick.
And certainly today we've seen you can't take anything for granted. Hodges struggled at both ends with field goals.
Good snap, good hold. And it is the first missed kick for Tyler Mullen, and the ball is going to be returned out of the end zone for Bayfield. Gets it up across the 5-yard line, so that's going to bring it out to the 20. Gaels missing an opportunity to extend their lead.
And Steve Snyder, it'll drive any coach crazy, but especially Coach Snyder. I mean, you get a legal procedure on 3rd and inches. Instead of 1st and goal, you're doing the field goal, then you're moving back 5 yards because you took too long, and now you get no points out of another really good drive by the Gaels offense. So see if Laurier can take advantage of this bit of momentum.
Scott is in, but he takes the handoff from Elgersma right up the middle, gets wrapped up for a fairly short gain again.
Well, Gaels are just doing a fabulous job of plugging up the run lanes for Scott and Nelms, but Laurier can't go away from the run. They've got to try and stay as balanced as they can, because I think Elgersma right now is struggling a bit the last couple of series with his passing.
Darian Newell with the tackle on that play for Queens. 2nd and 7. Elgersma looking quickly near side. He's got it complete on the play to Parasolides, his H-back, and he is going to be good for 1st down yardage on that play.
Good work by Parasolides. He knew where he had to get to. He got it. And that time, Elgersma used his eyes. He looked outside, then came to Parasolides. So clearly the coaches talked to Elgersma on the sideline, and now he's using his eyes a bit more to deceive the defense.
Also had a bit more time that time for the completion. Handoff to Scott going far side, gets met in the backfield. He's able to stretch upfield, picks up about 2 yards on the play. Pace in the backfield for the tackle for Queens.
But again, you can see the things they want to do off of this. Elgersma can hang on to it there. There's a pass play out of that. So keep doing the run. It's not getting them a lot right now, but it's setting up other things offensively.
2nd and 8. Clock moving down, close to a minute left to go here in the first half. Elgersma straight back, looks over the middle, dumps it off to Scott, and he picks up 1st down yardage out across the 40. Nice drive now by Laurier going into the wind.
Very good job. And there, again, as you said, Elgersma had some time, was patient, waited for his running back to come out, and used him as a safety valve. broke a tackle, got the first down.
Eric Johnson down for the Gaels right now on the field. Exactly 60 seconds left to go here in the first half.
Should remember again, this is first game action, the exhibition game last week for the Gaels. They went through a lot of players. So fatigue's going to be a big thing to watch as the game progresses. Fortunately, with the breeze and the clouds, it's not as hot a day as there has been at the end of August in the past.
Johnson able to come off under his own steam, but you're right, when you talk about the number of players that played last week, well over 100 that they took with them on the buses down to Montreal to take on McGill.
And in Laurier's case, they haven't played anybody. They've just done camp.
So 1st and 10, right at the 4, just across the 40 actually for Laurier. Elgersma straight back. Wishart forces him to come out near side. Elgersma is going to run with it. Pace wraps him up, but not until he picks up another first down, getting out across the 50.
Still plenty of time for Laurier. They've got both their timeouts left. Into the wind, you probably want to get down to the 20, 25. They're not going to use one yet.
Joel Zeroni now checking in for the Gaels. Elgersma takes it, pitches it out, quick side. He has it complete, but just for a short gain. Stefan East coming up to make the hit on Ethan Jordan.
And more importantly, a tackle inbounds, because they were trying to get Jordan out of bounds to stop the clock, and so now Fault and Laurier have to use their first time out.
It'll be 2nd and 8. Well, we're in the timeout right now just to take a look at some other scores around the OU. Guelph, and this is a team that we thought we would see more of this year. They're up big on Toronto, 33-3. The other Toronto team at home, the York Lions, struggling as we expected they would, 73-0 right now down to Western. Windsor and McMaster will be in action tonight in Hamilton at 7 p.m. and then Waterloo go up to Ottawa to take on the Gee-Gees tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock.
Be interesting to see what Ottawa's like this year. Ben Miracle, their quarterback, has graduated, so see how they fill that position. But that's a very strong program as well, Ottawa.
Well coached by Marcel Belfoy. Elgersma back to pass, and he's going to be sacked. He was looking downfield and didn't see the rush, and Joel Zeroni with his first sack as a Gael.
So I'm going to give this sack, the key to that is the play before by East. Because by forcing Laurier to use that first time out, Elgersma now has to look deep, and that's what he was doing. He wanted to go deep to try and get them big yards because they had to use the timeout. Gaels were able to cover it, and then the sack.
Gaels now choosing to use a timeout. As the sack happened, once the referee whistled it in, the clock would have been counting down. So there still are 20 seconds, 20.7 left to go here in the first half.
Well, and remember, the punter on his last punt shanked it. So make him think about it. Set up a return, maybe a block, and you don't get anything by taking your timeouts to the dressing room. So might as well use one, stop the clock, depending on the return. Might have time for another play. See if Hodge aims for the sideline.
Again, as you said, Bill shanked it for it was a 20-yarder on that first attempt. He does angling it near side, another wobbly punt, and it bounces inside to 25. O'Neill gets it there, tries to make a move to get back upfield before he's tackled. The gunner downfield, Jahari Hastings, on the play. And the Gaels will get the ball scrimmage just outside their own 25.
I was going to say that might mean the Gaels are just going to kneel, and it looks like that's what they are going to do, but you never know with this Gaels offense. Remember last year when they scored a touchdown against Ottawa right at the stroke of halftime.
Both H-backs, though, are in the backfield. Silverson and Henning are in there for them right now. But as you say, you never know.
He's not taking a knee.
And he's going to hand it off to Kerr. Goes up the middle, tries to bounce it out near side. Bouncing off, pinballed off a few Laurier defenders before he gets about a 6-yard gain. 4 seconds left to go here in the first half. Hastings again on the tackle that time for Laurier. So one final play here in the first half, barring penalty.
Good hard running by Kerr. He's had a good first half, and Gaels are going to go in and ahead.
So the score after the first 30 minutes is 7-4 for the hometown Queens Gaels. You're watching Gaels football on OU8 TV. We'll be back momentarily with an interview from Linda Milnick, Executive Director of Queens Athletics and Recreation.
Where exceptional student athletes are born. Where records are broken. Where great plays are made. Where school colors ignite passion. Where champions prevail. Where tradition is celebrated. Ontario University Athletics. Where exceptional student athletes are born. Where records are broken. Where great plays are made. Where school colors ignite passion. Where champions prevail. Where tradition is celebrated. Ontario University Athletics. Where exceptional student athletes are born. Where records are broken. Where great plays are made. Where school colors ignite passion. Where champions prevail. Where tradition is celebrated. Ontario University Athletics. Where exceptional student athletes are born. Where records are broken. Where great plays are made. Where school colors ignite passion. Where champions prevail. Where tradition is celebrated. Ontario University Athletics. Where exceptional student athletes are born. Where records are broken. Where great plays are made. Where school colors ignite passion. Where champions prevail. Where tradition is celebrated. Ontario University Athletics. Where exceptional student athletes are born. Where records are broken. Where great plays are made. Where school colors ignite passion. Where champions prevail. Where tradition is celebrated. Ontario University Athletics. Where exceptional student athletes are born. Where records are broken. Where great plays are made. Where school colors ignite passion. Where champions prevail. Where tradition is celebrated. Ontario University Athletics. Where exceptional student athletes are born. Where records are broken. where great plays are made, where school colors ignite passion, where champions prevail, where tradition is celebrated. Ontario University Athletics. Where exceptional student athletes are born, where records are broken, where great plays are made, where school colors ignite passion, where champions prevail, where tradition is celebrated. Ontario University Athletics. Where exceptional student athletes are born, where records are broken, where great plays are made, where school colors ignite passion, where champions prevail, where tradition is celebrated. Ontario University Athletics.
Welcome back to Gaels football on OUA TV. At halftime here, I'm really pleased to be joined by Linda Melnick, Executive Director of Queen's Athletics and Recreation. And Linda, some big news off the field this season with the Gaels being chosen to host the next two Vanier Cups. If you can talk about the impact to Queen's Athletics and Recreation, the football program, and the campus as a whole on being chosen to host the next two Vanier Cups.
Yeah, absolutely. The impact is significant in multiple ways. When we take a look at the motivating factor for the football program, you know, that's one of the ways it has an impact, but it also helps us to not only revitalize traditions, but establish some new traditions and give good acknowledgement to the historic success that the football program has had. When we look at the impact, to the community as well, we're taking a look at even just the economic impact that being able to host a Vanier Cup has. We know from the results from the hosting of the Vanier Cup at Western what that can be, and so we're working hard to create strong community ties, right, to enable that economic impact to have some significance to it as well. And then I also think there's, just a significant impact to Queens itself. Vanier Cup is one of the premier events hosted by us, but obviously supported by USports and the OUA. And just being able to bring that additional profile, reputation, and just demonstrate that what we do from athletics and recreation just has some meaning, I think is critical and important.
With regards to the Vanier and being chosen, can you talk about some of the behind-the-scenes work, some of the outreach work that was done both within the community and some of the behind-the-scenes work working with folks at USports and that as well?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things the Vanier Cup has done is it's enabled us to really create some outreach to not only community partners, but partners within the broader aspects of sports. So traditional outreach and work with USports, but also allowed us to make some connections with Football Ontario, Football Canada, and being able to kind of leverage the Cup to maybe even just address some partnerships that allow us to talk about things that are important to sport right now, like safe sport as one aspect of it. But the outreach also allows us to build that stronger relationship with the City of Kingston. This is a phenomenal facility. I'm excited to have people come, partake in what we're able to do and what we're able to deliver in a venue like this. And I'm hoping that the venue of this caliber just is contagious for people to want to see this space as something maybe even beyond football and a way to really proliferate sport, across what we do.
Maybe leading into my next question, obviously there's been a lot of work done with refurbishment here at Richardson Stadium, and I think really culminating, as we can see behind us, with the work leading to the completion of the Lang Pavilion. If you could talk about the impact that that's going to have, not just on the football program, but for Queen's Athletics and Recreation as a whole.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I think we can easily call this as one of the premier facilities in Canada. And as a product of that, I do believe that we are going to see different opportunities in this venue to be able to profile sport in a lot of different ways, but even maybe profile other types of opportunities to engage our students on campus, to engage community members, to engage even our alumni in different ways. And so I think the possibilities are endless and just really exciting for us here in Athletics and Recreation and Queen's University.
Well, thanks a lot, Linda. Linda Melnick, Executive Director of Queen's Athletics and Recreation, joining us here at halftime. And we'll be back after this with the second half of Gaels football on OUA TV.
Thank you so much. Wonderful.
Thank you, Linda.
The most successful people in life share one thing in common.
They all put themselves in a position to thrive.
Surrounded by people who challenge them to think bigger.
And communities that support them at every turn.
In the classroom.
And way outside of it.
If you want to set yourself up for success.
If you want to give yourself the tools to achieve any goal.
There's no better place to begin than Queen's.
We challenge.
We support.
You succeed.
You'll be great, no matter where you go.
But your greatest story starts right here.
Where exceptional student athletes are born. Where records are broken. Where great plays are made. Where school colors ignite passion. Where champions prevail. Where tradition is celebrated. Ontario University Athletics.
Welcome back to coverage of Gaels football on OUA TV. My name's Don Lewis. Along with me here, Bill Miklas. The score after the first half, 7-4, low-scoring game for the Gaels on top. Bill, let's go back and take a look at some of our keys from the before the game and see how things have kind of rolled out over that first half. of action.
Yeah, I think stack them up. How these two teams stack up against each other, I think it's everything we expected. These are two teams that are going to challenge for the top of the OUA all season, and they're playing this game like that. It's close. It's been physical, and which leads into the second key. We talked about the fact that both these teams are strong up front on the defensive and offensive lines. Who could get the control of those two spots? I think it's even, maybe with a slight edge to the Gaels, because I think their defensive line has limited Laurier's run game compared to the Gaels' run game, which got going there at the end. And the home cooking or underdog eats, we're going to find that out in the next 30 minutes or so. But so far, I think I'm not surprised by the way this game has gone. These are two teams that expect to be playing on November 11th in the Yates Cup, and they both have visions of playing on this field on November 25th for the Vanier Cup. And if we look at our two players to watch when this game started, I think they've been outstanding. Alex got off to a slow start, but came on in the second quarter. Taylor did the exact opposite. He was outstanding in the first quarter, and then I think got caught for a bulk of the second quarter staring down his receivers. The Gaels took advantage of that, but then I thought towards the end of the first half, Elgersma got a lot better at using his eyes to try and trick the defense, and not a surprise that both quarterbacks were better when they had the wind at their back, but I think the one that wins that battle is going to probably be on the winning team.
So taking a look at their first half stats, 15 to 21, 132 yards, and maybe one of the key plays to turn around some of the momentum in that first half was the interception that Elgersma had, that Kelowna picked off for the Gaels. Vreeken, 7 of 11 for 65 yards, and that one touchdown, that beautiful athletic reception by Nathan Falcone. And the Gaels here with the choice for the second half, or choosing essentially to repeat the end and the wind and so on from the first half.
Yeah, they've decided same way as we started the game. They'll let Laurier have the wind and the ball for the third quarter, and they'll hope to be able to use the wind at their back in the fourth to either protect a lead or come from behind. I was going to say one other thing, Donnie, about that first half. Both teams left points off the board. Two missed field goals by Dawson Hodge of Laurier. They only got 1 point out of those two misses. The Gaels had a perfect opportunity to have back-to-back touchdown drives, got the illegal procedure, then a time count, then missed the field goal. So they left some points off the board too.
Just taking a look at some other stats from the first half. You talked about the job that the Gaels had done to limit that Golden Hawk running attack. It's really been Taylor Elgersma actually is the leading ground gainer, 3 carries for 20 yards. Scott and Nelms just 9 yards and 5 yards each.
And I wonder, we saw it towards the end of the first half when Scott caught that short screen pass from Elgersma. I'm wondering if you use those two guys now almost as a safety valve passing weapon because the Gaels are shutting down the run so well.
So Taylor Mullen on to kick. Bayfield, it's actually a squib kick. It's going to come down to Daniel Crow. He rumbles upfield. Sorry, actually checked that. One of the defensive linemen, Matt Caruso, he rumbles upfield. Good field position, though, for Laurier to get things started from their own 39-yard line.
Didn't quite take the nice artificial turf bounce that I think Mullen was hoping. Bounced nicely to Caruso, and he got as much yardage as the big fella could get.
In that first half, All-Canadian last year, and the leading receiver in the OU, Ethan Jordan, 5 catches for 43 yards. Braden Thorne, 4 catches for 40. And on first down, it's going to be a handoff right up the middle with a big hole into the secondary inside the 50. Is Scott inside the 35, down to the 31 before he's finally wrapped up on the play by Jared Seaway. Unfortunately for Laurier, a lineman injured out in behind the play, Spencer Walsh.
What a great job by Laurier, and shows why we don't coach, Donnie. Michael Fauld spent that entire halftime saying, we're better than this with our run game. Let's go to our bread and butter. He talked and looked such a great job by that offensive line. Just blew away the Gaels up front. Then the Gaels in the secondary don't wrap up. And Scott with a huge first play to start this second half.
So on one play, they've already gained more yardage on the ground than they had all through the first 30 minutes. Right now, the Laurier training staff out to take a look at Walsh. A 40-yard carry that time for Scott.
It will be Daniel Crow coming in at that right tackle spot. In Walsh's spot. And Walsh looks a lot better than how he seemed when he was down on the ground.
Good sign, able to get off the field without any extra assistance.
But what a nice first play by Laurier to come out to start this second half.
Nelms in the backfield in behind Elgersma now for this 1st and 10, just outside the Gaels' 30-yard line. Hitch pass near side. He has a complete short gain for about 5 yards to Atkinson. Wishart coming out quickly from his defensive end position to help on the tackle. Good for actually about 6 yards on the play, 2nd and 4.
Well, I like this. The first two plays, quick hitters by Laurier. Little hitch pass after the draw play.
High snap. Nelms able to get it from Elgersma. And he rumbles forward, and then nice scrum play, if you will, there for the Laurier Golden Hawks. Able to move the ball inside the Gaels 20 and pick up another first down on their first possession here of the third quarter.
We saw this at the beginning of the first half, Don. Gaels defense not wrapping up, and Nelms able to, with some extra chances, get more yards out of that when it looked like he might be short of the first down.
A little bit of a check with me for Nelms with Elgersma there. Fake handoff to Nelms. Elgersma looking near side, and the ball is knocked away. Nice play by Stefan East as he had position that time against the receiver, intended receiver, Rayton Thorne.
He had great coverage, and Elgersma pointing at himself. I think that's one that Taylor's lucky he gets back because the coverage was perfect. And he's fortunate that East could just knock it away. Actually, Thorne does a good job of being the defender on that.
Second down play, Elgersma looking far side. Now he looks over the middle, and it is almost intercepted, knocked away, throwing in a double coverage that time, intended for Ojutalayo.
Now, Elgersma's talking to his intended receiver there. I think he wanted him to go up a little higher, and that would have kept the defenders from breaking on that pass.
So it's going to bring Hodge on to attempt his 4th field goal of this afternoon. He has missed 2, one at each end of the field. This one will be kicked from the 25-yard line right in the middle of the field. A little bit of a low snap, up and through. Nice kick that time. Nice job by Jackson Stebbings, the holder on the play, to assist. That field goal now ties it at 7. 12:30 left to go here in the third quarter.
Again, just almost a mirror image of the way the game started. Laurier with a nice drive, but it gets stalled by the Gaels defense, and then Hodge puts through the short field goal. And now can the Gaels do a bit more offensively into the win than they did in the first half, which was not get any first downs.
Kasari in the backfield. He had 5 carries for 30 yards in the first half. Fake handoff to Kasari, flips it out to O'Neill, and he jumps over the tackler on the play. Chris Haggart coming up to make that hit and limiting the gain for the Gaels receiver.
Boy, it's a fortunate break. I mean, the defender. Haggard goes low. If he misses that, O'Neill's got a lot more room.
So 2nd and 6. Fake handoff. Freakin now rolling far side. He throws it out to the sideline, and Nico Cuomo comes down with a nice first down reception. Bill, you said no first downs into the win in the first half. First drive here, they pick up one and get out close to midfield on that play.
And again, great protection by the offensive line again. I almost was wondering if Alex should have tucked and ran because he had some room, but showed good patience. And as you said, Nico makes a great catch with the toe drag.
Actually from the Gaels 51, Laurier showing blitz, handoff Kasari near side, tries to get around the end, has yardage coming up to the 50 midfield, but a nice job done that time by the Laurier Golden Hawks to string it out, limit him to about a 4-yard gain.
Still, that's 4 more yards than it looked like he was going to get. As Laurier got through and had a chance, he broke a couple of tackles there. The one right there, and then that one on Hastings.
Hand off to Kasari, has a hole up the middle, dives to the 50. He's going to be about a yard short. Now we've seen when it's been 3rd and 2, they've punted it. This time they're bringing Henning in, so looks to be in that area of where they're going to go for it. Now the last time when they had 3rd and short, Bill, that was what you mentioned earlier with the penalty.
Brubaker with a nice shoestring tackle there to force this 3rd down.
Vraken right up under center, dives, tries to push forward for it. Looks as though it's going to be spotted inside the 49, which should be good enough, and indeed it is. As referee Kevin Baird signals first down on the play.
I was going to say before that play, the shoestring tackle by Brubaker, can really see why Laurier missed him when he was injured last season. He's such a difference maker up front for their defense.
Gaels from the Laurier 48, fake handoff to Kasari, and then intended for Falcone. The ball a little bit in behind him on the play. And then Haggart coming up. He made the hit on O'Neill earlier in this drive, makes the hit that time on Falcone, who's taken a couple big shots in this game.
I was going to say, he's been a pinata in this game so far. That was a big hit by Haggerty, and there is the impact of that wind. You don't get enough zip on it, it's going to hang up, and that allowed Haggerty to close.
He's got a quick hitter to Falcone, and it's complete for a first down. However, there is a flag in behind the play here. It's going to be rough play, roughing the passer against the Laurier Golden Hawks. So a nice completion to Falcone, nice quick seam route there, and give him 15 more yards.
And did you see the difference? This time the pass was quicker off the line, allowing Falcone to get a running start at then breaking tackles, not sort of putting him in a defenseless position. Let's watch it here. See if we get a look at the penalty. We may not. And it was a late hit. He'd already thrown the ball, and he got hit. I did not catch the number.
Easily the best drive by either team going into the wind here this afternoon. It's going to be a handoff. Kasari bounces it outside, and a nice job done again. Haggart has been all over the field here in the second half. Kasari's going to lose about a yard on the play.
Well, there was a block by Falcone the other way, and it was clearly designed to go to that left side, but as you say, Haggart is just having himself a possession here defensively for Laurier.
Jaden Kerr now in the backfield for Queens on 2nd and 11 from the Laurier 22-yard line. Vraken looking over the middle for O'Neill and makes a diving catch, picks up a first down. It'll be right at the 10. Not sure if this will be first and goal, but a lovely catch that time by Aiden O'Neill.
Well, and a good throw as well by Vraken, because he knew he had to put it out ahead of O'Neill and allow his receiver to make the catch with his hands because the coverage was tight. Now, an interesting thing tail end of that play, Brubaker was complaining to the officials he got held. Let's see if he tries to draw a penalty here.
Indeed, it is 1st and goal. It's going to be a handoff to Kerr. He bounces it out left side, goes back up the middle, and then he drags Matt Caruso down to just outside the 5-yard line. Bill, nice vision that time.
I was going to say, he seems to be having a little bit more success against this Laurier defense than Kasari has.
Gaels with both H-backs, Silverson and Henning, on the 1st down play, and again on the 2nd down play here. 2nd and goal from the 6. Falcone in motion into the middle. Kerr takes it, tries to bounce outside, but again, Caruso comes across the line of scrimmage and wraps him up.
He made the play on 1st down to limit the gain, and that time made the play on 2nd down to force the Gaels into this field goal. But good drive against the wind. Ate up almost 6 full minutes of the clock. Kept Laurier's offense on the field. And if they can get the 3 points, they're back in the lead.
And Taylor Mullen, after missing his first field goal as a Gael, now looking to get another streak started from the 12. Again, Russ Weir is the holder. James Gillingham, the long snapper, and a nice job holding that time by Weir to able to bring down the snap and allows Mullen to boot the ball up and through, make the score 10-7, 6:31 left to go here in the 3rd quarter.
And a much crisper drive than we saw in the 1st quarter when the Gaels were into the wind.
And I think, Bill, you commented on the fact almost going with some of those, more of almost like a quick game, some of those quick hitters, step back a couple steps and you drop and then fire it downfield.
Well, I think in both cases of these quarterbacks, they have the strong enough arm to throw into the wind. But what you want to do is make it easier on the receivers as well. And we saw that on a couple of the pass plays by the Gaels.
So handoff, fake handoff into the backfield and then flipping it out into the flat to Darian Basak-Haddon.
What a great play.
Interesting, Laurier had their 3 running backs in the backfield there that time. They had the fake. Everybody bid it. I bid it here.
And I bid it as well. No, it's a brilliant fake by Elgersma. We're going to see it here. He puts it in, but he sees the man coming and dumps it off. And the reason he knew the man was coming because he would have been blocked by the person he threw the ball to.
Same formation now here on 2nd down. This time it's going to be handoff to Scott, and Scott gets hit right at the line of scrimmage. However, he's going to dive across the 50 and pick up the across the 45 and pick up the 1st down.
Now, getting back to that first play, remember again that was Scott's first play since the big long run to start the 2nd half. So you bring him through on that almost a draw look, you fake it, and your receiver is wide open on the little pass in the flat.
And when you talked about thunder and lightning, Laurier coach Michael Falls, thunder would be this young man Basak-Haddon now in motion to the far side. Back to pass, looking over the middle, overthrowing his receiver that time was Elgersma, a little bit high on that pass downfield. And unfortunately, coming away a little bit hobbled on the play, his intended receiver, Jutalayo, is now down on a knee.
And you worry about this early in the season. He immediately grabbed for his calf, and you wonder about those type of injuries, the strains, the pulls. They've only had camp. Might be cramping up a bit too. But again, Gaels with good initial coverage, and it's forcing Elgersma to then look for the secondary connections. And he seems to really, it's no secret, he's got a great receiver in Thorne and another one in Jordan. And he really seems to want to go to them first. But when you take those guys away, which clearly the Gaels have come out in the 2nd half saying, let's make them complete it to the other guys, then so far at least he's not on the same page with those younger receivers.
Jutalayo able to run off under his own steam there. It's going to bring up 2nd and 10. 5:01 left to go here in the third quarter. Two teams have traded field goals here in the second half. Elgersma back to pass, looking near side, and a nice reception. Able to come away with it. That time is Raiden Thorne, and you talk about the strength of that arm that time by Elgersma throwing the long out to the far side of the field.
That was a very long developing pattern, so it was also good that he got the protection he did, because you see Gaels don't really get close to him, but as you mentioned, Donnie, really showing that cannon of an arm that he has to drill that to Thorne.
4 receivers to the far side of the field. First down, it's going to be a handoff to Scott up the middle. It's going to be limited to maybe about a 3-yard gain on the play.
But again, compared to the first half where he was getting not even 3, that first play has at least forced the Gaels defensive line to not blast off on the run plays as quickly, because Elgersma's shown his ball handling that he can pull it out and create another play.
Parasolides checking in to the huddle for Laurier on second down here. It'll be 2nd and 7 from the Gale 51-yard line.
Now, interesting here, they put Thorne and Jordan on the same side. See if the Gaels shift over that way. He's definitely changing the play to them. Did he take too long? He did.
He did.
Tried to change the play. He clearly wanted to do something on this side with the two of them. And whatever he changed to, because you can see Jordan and Thorne sort of talking to each other, they just couldn't get on the same page. Now, did he call the timeout first? I think that's what they're talking about. I mean, Faulds is getting a timeout out of it anyways, because he's getting to talk to his quarterback. The question is it 2nd and 12? Nope, it's timeout.
So it's saving 5 yards there, but
Yep.
you know, it's you only get 2 in
Yep.
Canadian University football.
I mean, you're right, but I think Coach Faulds realizes as well that this is a pretty big drive with 3.5 left and the wind at your back.
I was just going to say the same thing. This might be your second last drive with the wind here in this game for Laurier.
I mean, if the Gaels have another offensive drive like they just did, could be their last drive with the wind at their back.
Now they're going with this full house backfield. Bassick Haddon in, along with Nelms and Scott, all 3 of their starting running backs in the backfield, along with Elgersma. Fake handoff to Scott. Elgersma has time, looks out near side to Bassick Haddon, and he gets away from Soonerine, picks up a first down, and Thunder doing a nice job here for Laurier in this third quarter.
It's another missed tackle by the Gaels. It was a tough one. Had him by the foot, big, strong, agile for his size athlete, but didn't have enough for the first down, but the second effort got it, and the sticks move.
Down to the Gale 35-yard line. Fake handoff to Scott, and Elgersma's being rushed, and he's going to be met. It was a Gale defensive line meeting at the quarterback for their second sack here this afternoon.
I don't know if that was a miss assignment up front or whether Elgersma read something different, but whatever he was looking for wasn't there right away, and that allowed the Gaels to get through, and that's a big sack.
2nd and 15. The other thing, it's going to take them out of that formation that they've used quite nicely here on this possession.
Well, it takes their best receiver on this series off the field.
Fake handoff to Scott. Quick hitch coming near side to Thorne. Tries to get upfield for the first down. Gets down inside the 30. But after that sack, it's going to make it 3rd and 5.
That play was about getting into Hodge range for a field goal. As soon as he throws the hitch pass, he's relying on his receiver to get some extra yardage and get them closer for a field goal. Again, the Gaels with some missed tackles, or they could have made this even longer.
So from the 37, good on 2 of his 4 attempts here this afternoon. Hodge puts the ball up and through. It's going to tie the game once again. 10-10 left to go, with 1:51 to go here in the third quarter.
So now the Gaels almost with a two-pronged thought on this series, taking the 1:51 off the clock, but also trying to keep the momentum going and give their defense a bit of a rest. And gives us a chance to again mention about the 3 national championships going on here in Kingston at Queen's University this season. November 9th to 12th, the women's soccer championships. 8 best university women's soccer teams in the country will come to Richardson Stadium. Gaels are the only team that we know will be here as the hosts. They have an automatic berth. Then just a couple of weeks after that, the big game in Canadian University football, the Vanier Cup. Gaels and the Golden Hawks both hope to be one of the 2 representatives in that one on November 25th. And from March 14th to 17th over at the Queen's Athletic and Recreation Center, it will be the men's USports volleyball championships, Queens and 7 other schools from around the country. A busy, exciting year in Queen's sports.
So Gaels, 1:40 and counting down here in the third quarter. Kerr in the backfield in behind Vraken. Vraken looking near side. He's got it complete, making a nice catch on the first down play to Josh McLeod. Gets up across the 40 to the 41, however, steps out of bounds.
Good read by both Vraken and McLeod as number 28, Jared Whaler, playing well off McLeod, and so McLeod able to pick up a pretty easy pitch and catch, 6 yards.
Run blitz on the play. Kerr takes it, gets up through the middle. However, he's going to be stopped shy of the first down.
And probably too far away to go for it. Good work by Laurier. That was almost one of those plays where you wonder if Alex could have taken the ball out of his running back's hands, because Hastings was coming in on a blitz, and as you said, they were playing run all the way. But Gaels eat up some clock. By the time Laurier starts this possession, there'll be about 40 seconds left.
Callan letting the clock count all the way down. Gets a little bit of a wobbler coming downfield. Bayfield coming over to try and return it. However, it bounces out of bounds right at the Laurier 40. Our next broadcast will not be until Saturday, September 16th. Next week, the Gaels have a very early bye, and then they're on the road on Saturday, September 9th, a 3 p.m. start at Toronto, taking on the Varsity Blues. You can watch that game and all Gaels coverage on OUA TV. Elgersma puts the ball right into Scott's belly. He gets up across the 40, and then the Gaels almost trying to tackle the ball more than the man, but they're going to limit him to about a 3-yard gain. So 2nd and 7. This will be the final play of the third quarter, barring a penalty.
Wonder if Elgersma takes a shot deep.
He has time. He does look into the secondary, and he's got it complete for a first down. A long developing play downfield to Ajutalayo. Good for Laurier that he was able to come back on the field. So the score after the first 3 quarters of OUA action here. Gaels and Laurier locked in a 10-10 tie. You're watching Gaels football on OUA TV. Welcome back to the fourth quarter. OUA TV's coverage. Don Lewis and Bill Miklas of Gaels football here from Richardson Stadium in Kingston. And Bill Laurier with a couple of nice drives, picking up a couple of field goals. All those points this afternoon off the foot of Dawson Hodge. But now for the fourth quarter, going into the win, though, to get this started, decent field position.
But a nice completion on that last play of the quarter to a different receiver than Thorne and Jordan. Forces the Gaels maybe to not just focus on number 4 and number 18.
Nelms in the backfield in behind Elgersma. High snap. Elgersma forced to roll out far side. Nelms on the screen play. He's going to pick up first down yardage inside the 35 down to the 31. Nice play design that time by Laurier.
Great play design, but again, Gaels, they're tough tackles to make to get Nelms by the foot, but you get those, and he doesn't pick up the 15, 20 yards he just got.
Scott now in the backfield for Nelms. Elgersma takes it, flips it out, far side, has it complete, but on a very short catch play is Jackson Stebbings. Nice play once again. Dawson Matthews-Reed coming up with a hit. He's actually gets just back to the line of scrimmage.
That's a tackle. Focused on the midsection and made the tackle. It's just a great read and react play by the defender. And just unable to block them for the other receivers. Might be 3-down territory if they don't get the first down.
Gaels coming with the blitz. Elgersma steps up and steps into the sack of Van Wishart.
What a well-designed blitz. It comes from the outside. They make the coverage downfield. He wanted to go deep to Jordan. The coverage was there by Seaway, but forces Elgersma to step up, and right there is the pressure from the inside to bring him down.
Hodge punting. Spiraler comes down to Kelowna, who initially I thought maybe was thinking they were setting for a field goal. The ball came into the end zone. He gets it back out to the 2-yard line.
No, I think what was happening was he could recognize that Hodge was looking to the right side, so he wanted to get over to the right side and then almost slipped. But fortunately had the patience to wait for it to roll into the end zone so he could bring it out and get it to the 20.
Exactly. So Vraken and the Gaels offense with Kasari in the backfield from their own 20. 13 minutes left to go here. First week of OUA action. This game tied at 10. Fake handoff to Kasari. Has it complete to O'Neill. 20, 25. Makes a move out across the 30. Picks up a first down. Nice job blocking, getting downfield. Theo Grant along with Nathan Falcone helping O'Neill to get the first down yardage.
Basically a run play there by the Gaels. Good job, as you said, by Falcone to make sure he made the block. O'Neill reading it well and getting the first down.
Fake handoff again. Katsari, Vraken forced to run with it. Looks though there might be a hold in behind the play as Vraken gets a first down out across the 40. But pressure right away that time by the Laurier Golden Hawks. Indeed, it is a hold. It'll make it 1st and 20.
It's what allowed Vraken to scramble for the first down. If the hold isn't made, it's a sack. It was great timing on the snap by the Laurier defender. Believe it was number 77, Sidham.
Vraken, don't know if he was even expecting the snap that time, and he's going to get sacked on the play as Omanua, that time with the sack, initial pressure that time by Matt Caruso. And that's going to make it 2nd and about 22.
Last 2 plays, the Laurier defensive line has come with their ears pinned back and have gotten to the Gaels quarterback.
And coming hard off the Gaels' right side of the offensive line there with Waldner and Theo Grant at the tackle. Vraken back to pass, looking downfield for Falcone. It's almost intercepted. The ball was overthrown. Ayo Ajayi was the defender on the play. He's the man who was out with an ACL last year and seeing his first action for Laurier in a couple of years here this afternoon.
Well, Vraken hoping to catch them deep, but the coverage was there on Falcone. And as you said, almost an interception for Laurier, but they should get some pretty good field position.
Laurier with 2 men back returning this time. Bayfield has returned all the punts here this afternoon so far. Callan's going to be booting this ball away from about his 10-yard line. It's a nice high spiraler, forces Bayfield back inside the 35. Gillingham downfield quickly to make the first hit, and then down to finish him off on the play that time.
The Gaels end up winning this game, Donnie. Circle that as a key play.
Ahmad Pottinger with the final tackle.
It was a big point of this 4th quarter for that punt for the Gaels to be a beaut.
Forces Laurier back to their 40-yard line. And how did these 2 teams stack up? Well, we're going to see in about the next 10 minutes and 40 seconds.
Pretty even.
High handoff, Scott. Decent gain on first down. Nice job by the right side of the Laurier offensive line that time. Lambert Pomerleau, the right guard, making a nice block on the play. And Daniel Crow in there at right tackle. Again, he's replacing Spencer Walsh, who was hurt earlier in the game.
And has not returned.
And so they just give him 2 yards on the play, so it's going to make it 2nd and 8. Again, one of the stories of this afternoon has been a stiff, almost 20-kilometer-an-hour breeze coming out of the north. And the Golden Hawks are going into it here in the 4th quarter. Gaels rush 4. Elgersma has time, throws it out far side, has it complete. First down yardage to Jordan. And he gets out to midfield. And the last couple times, Laurier doing a much better job than both teams have done a better job here in the second half going into the win.
So, again, the adjustment Laurier has made offensively is they've put Thorne and Jordan on the same side. And they're saying to the Gaels defenders, take away one of them, Taylor's going to the other. And that's what they did on that play.
You're seeing a better job here in the second half as well by the Golden Hawk offensive line. Quick counterplay coming around near side. With it is Atkinson. However, it looks like there might have been a hold in behind the play that allowed him to get upfield for the positive yardage.
There was. The Gaels almost got caught. They got such good pressure on it. I don't think the defender expected the run to come his way. He wasn't really looking, or he might have been able to make the tackle, but ends up being a penalty against Laurier anyways.
So makes it 1st and 20. Gaels with a holding penalty on their last possession really scupper things for them.
And this you'll see. First game of the year, they're starting to get tired. The bad habits are coming in now, so we're seeing a few more flags.
Gaels rush 4. Elgersma looking quickly near side, has it complete for Thorne. This time coming up, doing a nice job with the tackle is Seaway. Limits him to about a 6-yard gain, 2nd and 14 after that hold.
Well, as you said, Seaway plays this perfectly. Let him make the catch, but then I've got to make the tackle, or else that play becomes bigger than it should. Keep them at 2nd and more than 10. And again, we see the lineup. Jordan and Thorne to one side. Look for Scott out of the backfield, maybe.
Gaels rush 6 this time. Elgersma quickly over the middle, has it complete, and a nice job that done. That time by Thorne, getting in behind Liam Sutherland on the coverage.
Offensive line for Laurier been much better with their protection in this second half. That time, Elgersma had plenty of time to pick his receiver, step up, and when he's got time, his favorite receiver is Thorne, and Thorne was able to get open.
We're seeing this full backfield here. Bassick Haddon along with Nelms and Scott in behind Elgersma. Nelms motioning to the line of scrimmage, handoff to Scott, and he gets wrapped up after a very short game. Wishart finishes him off. Coming up to make the tackle initially was Olivier Muwembi. Limits him to about a foot on it, and it'll be 2nd and 9 3/4. So they're giving him a full yard on it, 2nd and 9.
So now they're splitting up Thorne and Jordan on the linemen.
And the Gaels late to get into the coverage for this play.
East on Jordan.
Fake handoff. Elgersma looking over the middle, and he's going to be wrapped up. He gets forward for about a 2 or 3 yard gain. Eric Johnson with the initial grasp on him.
Now, do you go for it, or do you punt it, and they're not going to take any chances? I was just wondering. Your defense is playing well.
I was just going to say, they're showing confidence now in the job their defensive did on that previous possession here.
Yep.
This time, the Gaels in a normal punt return with O'Neill back to return instead of Kelowna.
And you would expect Hodge, the way he's standing, he's looking to that far sideline.
Good snap. Gets away a nice high spiraling one. Does not go into the end zone, so O'Neill gets it at his 5, gets wrapped up at about his 7, and that's where the Gaels will get this possession started. 6:41 left to go here in the 4th quarter.
Great punt by Hodge. Got a good spiral on it, didn't turn, and it was far enough, I think, away from the goal line that O'Neill just couldn't take the chance of letting it bounce to try and let it get into the end zone and then get it out to the 20s. So now, really big series for this Gaels offense, because you don't get a first down, you might have to give up 2 points, and now you're trailing the game.
Kasari in behind Vraken. It's going to be a handoff to Kasari up the middle, and he gets wrapped up after a short gain. Another nice job done by the left side of that Laurier defensive line, Amari Hastings and Chinasem Insetum. Limits him to a 4 yard gain. Big 2nd down play coming up here.
I think this is a massive play. See if Laurier comes with some pressure.
Laurier rush 5. Rakin gets it out quickly to O'Neill. However, the pressure forced him to move it, get it away quickly. Incompletion is going to make it 3rd down.
And now, do you give up the 2? Wind's at your back. Your punter just, on his last punt, nailed it. But do you give the 2 points and force Laurier to start from their 35?
Laurier late getting onto the field here for this 3rd down play. Low snap. Callan, a little bit of a low line drive punt, however, gets a decent bounce. But it does allow them to set up a bit of a return, and Bayfield gets the ball up just across midfield. So now the pressure is on the Gaels defense.
Well, and give Laurier tons of credit. In this second half, their offense is really taken on an element of unpredictability, and I think it's been keeping defensive coordinator Ryan McManus a little bit on his heels because they've shown they can run. They're throwing out of it. They're using other receivers.
Also keeping the ball out of the Gaels' possession. 32 minutes to 20 right now for Laurier. Hitch pass far side, first down yardage. Getting into the Gaels' secondary with it that time is Jordan. And again, a great job by the offensive line to give them all day to throw it, but picking up about 17 yards on first down there.
Well, there's no flags, so I'm going to call it a great block by the Laurier receiver over there, but it sure looked like he had a grab on the Gale DB. Watch it here on the replay. I mean, if he keeps his hands inside, yeah, no, I take it back. That's a great block, and that's what created that big gain.
Down to the Gale 34. Fake handoff to Scott Elgersma, rolling far side. He's going to pitch it out, and is that a completion? Nice job done that time by Thorne. Not only securing the completion, but making sure that he kept his 1 foot in bounds, and that moves the ball all the way down to the Gale 23, and you're now pretty much into Hodges' field goal range, you'd have to think, even with this wind. Elgersma handoff this time to Scott, and he gets wrapped up. He's actually going to be tackled in the backfield. Justin Pace coming across quickly from his linebacker position. Maybe gets back just to the line of scrimmage. It's going to be second and long, and another offensive lineman for the Laurier Golden Hawks down on the field after that play.
Pace just read Parasides coming to the one side and where he was going to go to block. Watch it on the replay. Parasides comes in motion, and Pace just reads that, knows where Scott's going, and then wraps up and makes the tackle. Now, this is, as you said, Donnie, a second offensive lineman down for Laurier. We talked a little bit earlier about the bye coming up. Every team gets a bye during the OUA season. And in this case, the injured player's Crow, who's the backup that came on for Walsh, who got hurt earlier at right tackle. But for the Gaels, they get their bye next week. So the argument is you get it early, now you don't have it the rest of the year. Laurier's is week 6. That's leads, right at the end of September. Nice, some would say good spot right in the middle. Gives you a chance to recharge your batteries. But if you're Laurier and both your right tackles are out of the game, you don't have a bye to get your offensive line set. So,
well, and you talk about injuries. We haven't mentioned it, some of the specifics, but I would count probably about 4 or 5 Gaels right now that you would have expected would have been on the field here this week.
No Anthony Souls, no Vanek. Again, you and I talked about it before the game. Laurier came into the game pretty healthy. Gaels not so much, so it almost puts more pressure, Laurier at full strength to try and get this win. And the Gaels to show that they've got the depth to withstand those type of injuries. And a big play coming up here on second down with your third string right tackle in.
I was just going to say, as the wind really whips up, might be just on the edge of field goal range for Dawson Hodge. Elgersma flips it out quickly, near side. Thorne gets tackled actually for a loss. He tried to spin back out to around to the left side, and Brady Spafford comes up to wrap him up for a loss of a yard. And indeed, Hodge is coming out with the kicking tee. And so he missed going into the wind earlier.
You don't want to knock an athlete like Thorne for backtracking like that, but you almost want him to just get the yards you can to make this as easy as possible for your kicker into the wind.
So Hodge good on 3 of 5 kicks here this afternoon.
But
this one will be from the 31.
None this way.
Good snap, good hold. The ball is up and it is wide to the left. Kelowna in the end zone. Tries to get outside. He's going to be wrapped up, and Matt Caruso has done a great job defensively all afternoon, and he gets the tackle that time. And Kelowna maybe a little bit shaken up after that play, but he missed the field goal, but they get the single point and now take an 11-10 lead. 2:38 left to go here in the game.
But the Gaels get the ball at the 35 now instead of the 20.
And Kelowna maybe looks though he might be favoring his right hand as he jogs off the field.
So 2:38 left. We talked about the Vanier Cup earlier, and you can get tickets to watch the 2 remaining teams in USports come November 25th, going for one of the oldest trophies in football, certainly up here in Canada. Laval Rouge Or won it last year against Saskatchewan when it was held in London, Ontario. Gaels last won it in 2009. Both these teams hope to be playing here, but so does everybody else kicking off this weekend. Kingston, Ontario, the goal of all the teams in USports football this year and next year. The Vanier Cup will be here again in 2024, but get your tickets now. You'll never get a better chance to watch great live football in this city.
Those Laval Rouge Or winning last night at Sherbrooke 37-14. Western going to Toronto. They beat up York this afternoon 83-0. Guelph at home winning 33-10 over Toronto.
And that's probably, to me, will be the biggest surprise if all these scores hold this weekend in the OUA. Because I think Toronto made the playoffs last year. We're pretty confident in what they had moving forward. Guelph, still a young team, but that's a big home win for the Griffins.
So Gaels from the 35 have to score on this possession. Flip it near side of Falcone. Nice gain on first down for about 5 yards just across the 40. Again, good pressure done that time by the Laurier defensive line. Gaels quickly to the line of scrimmage. They have time, however, you want to make sure you get down in at least field goal position. Resetting things at the line of scrimmage. Break in, has time, looks to his second receiver, and he's got it underthrown to Falcone, and the ball almost intercepted. That would have been again by Chris Haggart, and the Gaels are going to be forced to punt this ball away. 2:10 left to go here in the fourth quarter.
I'm not sure what Alex was expecting there. I'm not sure if he was expecting someone. I think he thought Falcone was going to come back, but smart move by the Gaels. It's too long to go for it on third down, still over 2 minutes. You've got both your timeouts left, wind at your back.
Wobbly snap by Gillingham. Mullen, Bayfield able to come up, field it on the fly across the 30. However, he gets knocked out of bounds by Pace. There is a flag on the play.
This is about perseverance, Donnie. Miller Melanson has been held on every punt by Cote Azor, and it finally got called on this play, and it's going to force Laurier back. Miller Melanson didn't argue at all game. He just kept playing, and I've been watching that matchup all day. He's been held every time, and it finally gets called, and now Laurier, with 2 minutes left, into the wind, needs to try. You figure you've probably got to get 3 first downs to salt this one away.
But if you don't get one right now, you're going to be kicking into the wind. The
Well,
Gaels
exactly.
will be right on, almost on the edge of field goal
No,
position right away.
it's a massive penalty. Don't get me wrong.
21-yard line, Elgersma, 2 minutes exactly left to go here in the fourth quarter. It's a quick handoff to Thorne in the backfield, and he gets upfield to about the 24 24-yard line, picks up only 2 yards on first down.
Forces Falls testing to see if Coach Schneider's going to use his timeout. It doesn't look like he's going to. He's going to hope his defense can make the play here on second down. And he's going to force now Coach Falls. Do you run the ball and keep the clock moving or risk an incompletion and stopping the clock? Timeout. That was I was just about to say, Donnie, that the play clock was running down.
Oh. The other thing I'm wondering is that, and I was looking for him on the play, Jordan wasn't even on the field for that second down play. And that is Laurier's final timeout. If the Gaels should get the ball back and score, that'll be another challenge for Laurier.
You know, and I saw Jordan on the sideline, but I just thought that, you know, he'd been subbed for. But I think you're exactly right. They only had 11 people on the field, though he's going back off.
I think what happened there was that the man motioning from the near side came late and really threw off the timing.
Well, either way, they at least ate some time if you're Laurier.
Right, but they also stopped the play clock for the Gaels on that.
But you get the first down here.
Yeah.
You look like geniuses.
2nd and 8 from their 24. 1:35 left to go in the fourth quarter. Gaels come on the run blitz, and Scott's going to get around the outside. First down yardage out to the 35-yard line. Great job by the right side of that injury-riddled Laurier Golden Hawk offensive line.
Big time to be able to get finally probably a big run on the Gaels if you take away that one to start the second half. Watch it here. He's just patient. He bounces it out. Gaels lose their contain. But the one mistake he made, he ran out of bounds. Gaels don't have to use either of their 2 timeouts. So really, you've gained the first down. You've eaten up some clock, but the Gaels can still get this ball back.
Hand off to Scott up the middle, tries to bounce it outside. Decent gain on first down. Pace coming up. Basak Haddon with that first down carry for Laurier. And he's going to pick up a good 5, almost 6 yards on the play.
And he's hurt. But he doesn't let that clock stop. So now the Gaels have to use their timeout, and the play of the game will come up next on 2nd and 5. And I was going to say if he hadn't gotten hurt, I'd run him again. I think you run again. If you get the first down, you basically locked up this game. If you don't, Gaels have to use their timeout and you punt it away. But if he gets 4 yards even, you could go for it on 3rd down. It's a massive play here. I mean, and Mike Falls played quarterback at Western. He's a gutsy offensive coordinator and play caller. Do you throw the ball? Because you're going to get one-on-one coverage on the outside.
You talk about guts and Falls. I think back to that Yates Cup matchup with him on one leg here at Richardson. 2nd and a long 4. Elgersma handoff to Scott. Hole coming near side. Hole gets closed. Gaels stop him. Pace on the tackle that time. Kelowna coming up to help finish him off.
Did he get close enough, though, that they could go for it?
I think it's going to be 3rd and almost 3.
2. It's about 2. So you don't. If you're Laurier, you don't have to make a decision. You let Gaels call their last time out, which I assume they have.
And they have.
So.
You talk about gutsy. This would be incredibly gutsy. We saw about 2 or 3 times in the first half that the Gaels defending like this, on offense like this, did not go for it on 2 yards to go.
I was going to say you could almost bring your quarterback on while you're out of timeouts. I was going to say bring your quarterback on, try and draw them offside, but you don't have the timeout. You'd lose 5 yards, and into this wind, you want Hodge to be able to kick it from as far up as you can get him.
1:17 left to go here in the fourth quarter. Hodge looks as though he's going to be angling it to the near sideline. Early snap. He puts it nice, spiraling punt. O'Neill back inside his 25. He's going to be forced to come to the boundary side, makes a couple of moves up near side, and then actually stepped out of bounds back at the 31. Either way, the defender, Brady Lonart, would have knocked him out of bounds a few yards further up, but 1:06 left to go. The Gaels down by 1 and going to be scrimmaging from their 31-yard line, but this time no timeouts left to go.
And again, it's plenty of time in Canadian football. The clock will stop on every first down. It'll be hurry-up offense. They're going to be throwing the ball, and they just need to get into field goal range for Mullen.
Mullen's longest kick last year was a 39-yarder, so you'd have to get to about the 32. Now, seeing him kicking in spring practice and a camp earlier this week, he certainly has a much stronger leg than he had last year. Vraken is going to be sacked in the backfield. Coming around the far side was Luke Brubaker.
There's where you need your talent to make his move. He's been talking that he's been held the whole game, and that time he just beat Henniger.
So 2nd and 16. Gaels forced to quickly get it snapped off. Vraken gets it complete up to the 40, and O'Neill, perfect play on, actually he might, yeah, it looks like he just has the first down and gets out of bounds.
Well, again, I mean, you don't want to criticize coordinators, but it just seems like in these situations, defenses play so far off that McLeod was able to pick up that yardage easy.
Vraken, he gets rid of it just in time because, again, Brubaker was coming around the backside. Ball incomplete downfield. O'Neill, the intended receiver on the play.
He wants pass interference, but I think there were some earlier ones that you could have said were pass interference. That one, the pass was behind, and Hastings, I think, timed the hit properly.
And Brubaker is really winning this matchup against Henniger here on this drive.
Well, he's getting outside. He's using his speed.
And completed upfield for a first down to Camille.
Is it a first down, though?
And actually looks to be about the length of the football short, and Henning almost coming on the field that time. It looks as though...
What a break for the Gaels.
Exactly. It's that Kevin Baird has said, look, we need to measure this first.
Which is the right call, because you're too late in this game. It's too important a game to not make sure that he doesn't have the first down. But it gives the Gaels a chance to call a couple of plays.
And I think Henning might have been seeing if they haven't
signaled
first down, he always is off the left side of that offensive line formation.
For sure. No question he was coming on. But, well, and that's why you measure it, because it is a first down. But now you got to get out there, because he's gonna start this clock. There's probably 3, 4, depending on getting out of bounds and things, maybe 5 plays.
42.3 seconds left to go here in the fourth quarter. Laurier up 11-10. The Gaels driving and have a very strong wind at their back. Laurier coming with a blitz off the right side. Vraken throws into that. He's got it complete downfield. Camille on back-to-back receptions gets into the Laurier end of the field all the way down to the 42-yard line. And Vraken is basically seeing the blitz and throwing right at where the man's coming from.
But again, it was great pickup by the running back, Kasari, on Naughty.
30 seconds left to go here in the fourth quarter. This time they just run 4, and Vraken's going to run up the field, run up the middle with it, gets down to the 30.
What a great call.
And picks up another first down, and they are in field goal range for Tyler Mullen.
So now you think about, where does your kicker want it lined up?
Again, Mullen missed one.
This way.
At this, exactly, back in the second quarter. Laurier look like they're coming with the blitz. Vraken has time, pitches it near side for O'Neill. A little bit overthrown. He's asking for a flag. I think that was over his head that time. 12 seconds now left to go.
Well, I'll tell you what I like on that play. I think Hastings has been sort of walking the tightrope between pass interference. but it wasn't pass interference in the first quarter. It shouldn't be now.
Exactly.
That's good officiating.
And
So what do you do here on second down? Do you try and get it in a good spot or try and get more yardage?
Haven't run Kasari in a while, and this time they give it to him, and he
What a
gets
tackle.
tackled right at the line of scrimmage. However, the ball is spotted right in the middle of the field. Gets down to about the 29, so it's going to be 7.9 seconds left to go. The clock will be winding on this play. Once it's snapped, this may well be the final play of the game.
And again, if he misses, you've got to get down with the coverage because Laurier's going to send two back and one of them's going to be their kicker.
I was just going to say the same thing. Do you kick it out? But then again, the Gaels can kick it back in.
Well, now we're out of.
Good snap, good hold. The ball is up and it is wide to the right. And Laurier get the ball out of the end zone and they are going to win this matchup. The Laurier Golden Hawks come to Kingston and Richardson Stadium and beat the Gaels 11-10 on the opening week of OUA action here.
And the Golden Hawks are really rubbing it into the Gaels.
And Bill, I'm thinking back to the last time the Gaels won a Vanier Cup. We saw something with a purple-clad team in Lennoxville, maybe acting a little bit like this at the end of the game.
And Steve Snyder's doing a smart thing. Watch it, guys.
And you can see Michael Falls is coming over and talking to Steve Snyder and saying, look, I'm trying to tell my guys to back off, but...
Well, I don't think he is trying to tell him to back off. But if I was Michael Falls, I wouldn't, and there's some assistant coaches that aren't even shaking Michael Falls' hand. This is a long ways from over. The Laurier Golden Hawks, it's a big win, and it's good, great for them. Gives them the inside track to some home field advantage, but it's also August 26th. You want to be careful who you get angry.
But credit Laurier.
Yep.
You know, they won the
win.
game going into the wind. It was tied going into the fourth quarter. That was the Gaels' decision of what they wanted.
About Caruso?
Yeah.
That tackle in the end zone of Kelowna was the point that won this game. There's another Laurier Golden Hawk that's down. So both these teams come out of this banged up. This was a playoff-style game. They're going to play each other in November, you would think. And it was a dandy. And for young Mullins, a couple of misses that he's not used to having last year. But there's still a long ways to go in this season. Gaels will go on a bye, then they come home, then go to Toronto. They won't be home again till the 16th. For Laurier, they'll be home to Carleton, who's coming off a bye next Saturday. But you can see what this means to the Golden Hawks. They know that if they want to get to the Yates Cup final, the team that's been there the last 2 years has been the Queens Gaels. And this is a massive win for Laurier and well-deserving.
Yeah, offensively, Elgersmith this afternoon, 29-38 for 284 yards. Vraken, 17-27 for 169. But, you know, you talk about one of the keys that we talked about was the play of the lines. And I think Laurier's offensive line struggled in the first half. They stepped up, I think, in the second half, and their defensive line started to get a lot more pressure on Vraken.
Yeah, late in the fourth quarter, I thought the Laurier defensive line really started to make some headway. Brubaker got through a couple of times. They just, you know, again, this was a hard, physical game. We expected nothing less. Ends as a one-point victory for Laurier. Great win. A tough loss for the Gaels that, unfortunately for them, they're going to have to spend the bye week thinking about. But for both teams, there's a long way to go.
So the Laurier Golden Hawks come down the 401 to Kingston and win on Richardson Stadium turf here this afternoon, 11-10, and take this opening week matchup over the Queens Gaels. For Bill Miklas, my name's Don Lewis. You've been watching Gaels football on OUA TV.